it comes to the virtual world, it seems that we don't really have boundaries when it comes to our composure, to our attitudes, our behavior. We lash out quickly online. We see someone is wrong, and the way we type a message or reply to that person, you would not really expect from that person when you see him or her in the offline world. We just lash out. We become emotional pretty fast because we operate from this online persona. We think the internet gives us this feeling of being anonymous, this sense of security that we feel. It's not the real world anyway, so we kind of feel laid back and don't really bother with any boundaries or class or good behavior. And we often want to tell someone that person is wrong, or we really want to enforce our beliefs, or we just want to share our opinions a lot. And I understand that. A long time ago, I also wanted to tell that person, no, this is, I think it's like this, why do you think it's like this? Or I wanted to tell people, look, I think you're wrong, I think I'm right. But I think the more mature you become, the more you understand. And I like this quote. The quote goes like this, that he who knows best knows how little he knows. So the more you know, the more you learn, the more you realize that you don't really know anything. It's just like with traveling. The more you travel, the more you get to know cultures and countries, the more you realize you don't know anything about the world. And that's very interesting, because when you don't travel, you think you know it all. When you actually are not that smart, you think you know it all, but the smarter you become, the more wiser you become, the more you understand that there's a lot that you don't know. So from that mindset, when I go online and I see even people say 2 plus 2 is 8, and I think 2 plus 2 is 4, then I think, you know what, maybe you're in some way, maybe you're right. 2 plus 2 is 8. If you ask me, Johan, do you think 2 plus 2 is 8? I will say, well, in my opinion, I think 2 plus 2 is 4. So I don't really engage with people because I think, oh, that person is wrong and I need to tell this person that he or she is wrong. And not just like, not in the case of 2 plus 2, for example, but just any fact that I might think, maybe there's a point. Maybe that person has this perspective because of his situation or her situation, just because of her experience or his experience. I don't know. But the more mature you become, the more you have this tendency to ignore arguments and to be humble about what you know. So the more you study, the more you realize that whatever your truth is for you, if you're really certain about it, then you don't feel this pressure to tell everyone, because what matters is that you know. So when you're online and you see people say radical things, because of polarization, we think everything is red and not yellow. It's black, it's not white. It's hard to find that gray area, and that's what you want. You want to try to find that gray area. Try to empathize with a person. Try to understand why would the person think this way. What has this person experienced that he or she might think that? And that's empathy. We try to see what they say from their perspective. From their perspective, will it make sense to believe that? So you think you know it all, but you don't. And even when you really think that someone is wrong, you don't want to be like, you're wrong. It doesn't work. You want to ask questions like, why do you think this? Why do you think that this is yellow? Why do you think 2 plus 2 is 8? What made you think that? So ask questions. Be nicer. Don't feel so offensive immediately. Don't get offended quickly just because someone has his or her opinion. Well, sometimes there are people who try to create riots online. They try for people to engage with you, and be careful with those people. Misery loves company. When someone is miserable and someone wants to ignite this big argument, this big riot online, you want to be careful, because whatever you say, that person is going to attack you even more. So stay out of it. I see people sometimes engage in these fights, and it's clearly that person who made that first statement just wants to get those reactions from people. They just want for people to mingle, to be mixed in that conversation, so that person can tell everyone, no, this is how I think about it. He or she is not going to change his or her mind. So why would you engage in that argument? For what? Why do you feel the need to defend what you think is true? You know it's true, so that's all you need to know. So be careful not to waste your time on those arguments, on people who simply don't want to believe in anything, who wants to just think here and not here. But you though, you want to expand your mind. Learn, educate yourself, and understand that maybe what you think is not entirely the truth. Maybe not. Maybe there's more lessons that you can learn. So that's why, and that's a big part of maturity, to understand I'm an open-minded person. Let me hear your story before I judge you so fast. We love to judge each other so fast. But let's take a step back, let's analyze it from a macro level, and be patient, and let's pretend that we're in this offline world, because in the offline world we probably would be more empathetic and sympathetic, we would be more kind and more patient. But in the virtual world, we just lash out. So be careful with that. Understand the quote, he who knows best knows just how little he knows.